nicely. She went to pawn shops, buying jewels to decorate her bloody stumps.
It breathes, it heats, it eats, it shits and fucks. What a mistake to have ever said be-id.
I wore them to the party and then danced upon the dinner table. My mother's hands.
Presents its smooth, slippery, opaque, taut surface as a barrier.
My father's hands, my mother's hands.
Amorphous, undifferentiated fluid. In order to resist using words composed of articulate phonetic units.
My father's hands, my mother's hands.
We are of the opinion that what is ordinarily referred to as primary repression means precisely
that the unconscious castration complex functions as a knot. In the dynamic structuring of symptoms, in the analytic sense of the term.
This is the real meaning of the paranoiac machine.
I sold the hands on the street to a man who said he could use new ones.
Its first role, namely, the instating in the subject of an unconscious position without which he could not.
Hands reacted badly to this new man, not the rightful owner.
Person's own body and the genital organs.
In any case, it is not because of Darwin that men believe themselves to be nevertheless the best among the creatures, for it's precisely of this that he convinces them.
My father's hands, my mother's hands.
Machines.
Looking in the mirror, finding myself empty and disgusting. Chop off a gorilla's hands and make myself the rightful owner. Looking in the mirror, finding myself empty and disgusting. Chop off a gorilla's hands and make myself the rightful owner.
We must first establish a parallel between desiring production and social production.
Now the dissolution of the Oedipus complex. This is what has led certain authors to regard the phallic phase as the effect of a repression, and the function assumed in it by the phallic object as a symptom.
Gorillas have such strong hands with which to strangle my neighbor's donkey.
evidence, not that interesting transmutations of the object of a phobia into a fetish do not occur.
Oedipus presupposes a fantastic repression of desiring to speak. But why are they repressed? To what end? Is it really necessary or desirable to submit to such repression? And what means are to be used to accomplish this? What ought to go inside the Oedipal triangle? What sort of thing is required to construct it? Aren't there more important questions than these, however?
I found out that the man who backed my hands had used them in a gunfight. Blood all over pretty lady hands I once had called my own.
Turns out fantasies are perceived from a fragmented image of the body to what I will call an orthopedic form of its totality.
Hands on the window to the sun, bringing a void encrusted hall.
Squaring of the eagle's onyx. What does he in fact gain by normalizing the function of the phallus as a part object if he has to invoke its presence in the mother's body as an internal object?
And of the use of capital as a means of extorting surplus labor.
Of which he was the inventor, and that in the absence of an adequate articulation of the nature of these phenomena, his followers were destined to lose their way to a greater or lesser degree. It is on the basis of this wager, which I place at the crux of the commentary on Freud's work I have been pursuing for 7 years.
I need more hands, I need more hands, I need more hands, I need more hands. I'm desperate for more hands to fill the gaping void inside my soul. I need more hands, I need more hands, I need more hands, I need more hands.
Objective data, a method of symbolic reduction as my guiding grid. It establishes a genetic order in ego defenses in accordance with the wish formulated by Anna Freud in the first part of her major book, and situates again as against a usually expressed prejudice, hysterical repression and its returns at a more archaic stage than obsessive inversion and its isolating processes, situating the latter as prior to the paranoid
signifier thus becomes a dimension of the human condition, in that it is not only man who speaks, but in man and through man that it speaks, in that his nature becomes woven by effects in which the structure of the language of which he becomes a material can be refound, and and in that the relation of speech thus resonates with him beyond anything that could have been conceived by the psychology of ideas. In a sense, one can say that the consequences of the discovery of the unconscious have not yet been so much glimpsed in analytic theory, although its impact has been felt in analytic praxis more than we realize.
That establishes a relation between the machines and the body without organs.
A monkey's hands, a junkie's hands, a sad man's hands, a glad man's hands, a mermaid's hands, a Bigfoot's hands, a lady's hands, bedecked in pearls, a killer's hands, a miller's hands, my father's hands, my mother's hands. A monkey's hands, a junkie's hands, a sad man's hands, a glad man's hands, a mermaid's hands, a Bigfoot's hands, a lady's hands, bedecked in pearls.
Escaping the wheel of continuous birth and rebirth. No mouth to suck with. No anus to shit through.
Killer's hands, a miller's hands, a strong man's hands to slaughter girls.
Having substitution in the signifier, according to the two axes for generating the signified, metonymy and metaphor, effects are determinate in instituting the subject.
A sad man's hands, a glad man's hands, a mermaid's hands, a Bigfoot's hands, a lady's hands, bedecked in pearls, a strong man's hands to slaughter girls.
By other, the very locus evoked by recourse to speech in any relation in which recourse plays a part.
Chop, 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 chop.